Hello, everybody. Welcome to my stock picks of the week. We had a fun week last week. We made some good calls. We eBay took off. Some of my picks have been doing pretty well lately. So let's keep it up. These picks are for the week of 10/12 to 10/16. Please follow me on Twitter at Don'tFeedBear, and I have a YouTube channel where I post these videos. As always, let's start with S&P 500. Right now, we had two different possibilities, and right now it looks like the white 5 wave that I have drawn out here is looking pretty close. I haven't really moved this wave theory much, and so far it's following that trend real well. If you look at this, I mean it's almost right on. So that's looking good. What I think may happen is that we keep going up for a lot of the month of October, and then we take we retrace a little bit, or we take a correction or dip, or however you want to say it, and then right around the time of election, when we find out who our new president will be, there's right after, historically, there's usually a nice little pop that takes us up, and hopefully we go on a nice little bull run. So far, it's looking like the bull run is on. I'm losing more faith every day in this green one, and which is a good sign because that means we have a lot more positive trends to go before we come up to a big correction again. So let's hope that's true, and let's keep going. All right, I added a new slide this week, so I wanted this is a new strategy I've been working on. A lot of you guys say you have a small account, lost a lot of money in the September correction, things like that. So what I wanted to offer is I wanted to show what would happen if you bought 10 shares of all the picks that I offer, and what would happen. So right at the bat, well, let's talk about some of my higher performing stocks. So I picked Square on 9/28. It's been up 23.44% since. My second highest performing is SE. That's been up 20%, and this was from 9/21. And Square hit its price target already. SE has not. So SE could become my highest performing stock. These only stay here for 6 weeks. That's the time frame of my picks. I will never keep a stock longer than 6 weeks on my list. So right at the bat, 7 out of 22 stocks have hit their price target, and if you add them up, and you bought only 10 shares of each one on the day that I showed what the stock picks of the week, you would have $852.80 right now. As I tell everybody, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks for my picks to mature, and so far that's true. It's 11.43 trading days in order for that to mature. So far that's the average. So the growing means it has not hit stop loss or price target, and it has not hit its 6 week expiration. So if you bought 10 shares of those stocks, you'd have $931. So if you were cool enough to buy all my stocks, 10 shares of each, you would have just under $2,000. That's a pretty good amount of money. So far I've only had one stock hit stop loss, and I've had one stock pick go the full 6 weeks without hitting the price target or stop loss. So it happens. Okay. So this is a new slide that I'll be updating each week. All right, let's jump into my stock picks of the week. We have SUNRUN, AMD, Taiwanese Semiconductor, and Dollar Tree. As you know, I always put the information here. I'm going to put in less text. I'll talk more and explain more on charts. I think you guys appreciate that more. It seems that I'm hearing that people don't read this as much, so I want to give the people what they want. So let's go ahead and jump into it. SUNRUN's been on my list for a couple weeks. It wasn't ready. Right now, the MACD, the indicators, all are pointing to it's going to dip down very soon, and sure enough, it's right. Going to bounce down on wave 4 and come up for 5. So this one's pretty clean. This one's pretty straightforward. Wait for the dip, buy the dip, and make some money. This one's very simple. Watch out for earnings on November. We're hoping that maybe we can get this a little bit tighter angle here, and we finish just before the election, but we'll see. So AMD, my favorite. So this is a stock pick. Right now it's bouncing down. They had an acquisition rumor, and the rumor is true that they are looking into purchasing this company, but that company, I'm not sold that they will go through with it, because there's a lot of reasons to do it. There's a lot of reasons not to do it. So we got to see what happens. So right now it seems like it's going to come down and bounce down to 2. Let me zoom this out. There's something I want to show you guys real quick. So if you look here, the reason I posted that I purchased a call was because if you look right here, it's pretty darn close to the 0.5. That has a decent probability of happening. The 618 has a higher probability of happening. So this could happen. This could, just come down and bounce right off the 0.5. So that's why I bought. I am okay if I have to go a little negative before it bounces off the 618, but I didn't want to miss out on this. I think AMD is going to go on a good run here. They've been a very hot stock. They got another product coming out in the month, plus earnings, as you see here. So October is going to be a really good month for AMD. So I think you guys should take a look. Apple, I did a video on Apple as well. Apple's kind of in the same boat, so keep an eye on these two. All right, let's go on to Taiwanese Semiconductor. All right, so want to give a shout out to my boy Jollibee. As his famous words were, "Not for me," right? That's right about where this happened. So right now it's coming up on wave 3. Indicators look good. I think we can catch this for to finish off wave 3. We could have a little bit of dip, maybe a little consolidation before we head up. But all indicators look strong. They all look good. So I think Taiwanese Semiconductor, it does have earnings this week. So that's the one risky part about it. But I think I expect them to beat earnings. I think they're going to be really good. So let's go and go to the last pick, and Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree is kind of a little tricky one because I'm not quite sure how stimulus would affect them. Dollar Tree is like a dollar store. So during a time where unemployment's high, they usually get pretty popular. But if you have a stimulus, I mean, we still are in a pandemic. There still is high unemployment. I think Dollar Tree's still going to do really well. It's coming up for wave 3. All the indicators are looking good. Momentum indicators flashing. So I think we continue to go up for wave 3. So Dollar Tree I like a lot. It's kind of holding strong here. It's got a slight decrease in volume. So maybe we're going to head up more, and we might not have a strong pop like we did on Friday, but it might just be very gradual. Red, green, red, green, red, green, all the way up to the end of 3. So I think this is going to be a good one. So. All right, up next, so as you know, I always put my charts up here so you guys can review them. If you have any questions, message me, anything like that. Let's go into earnings play. All right, so the earning plays of the week are Taiwanese Semiconductor, Johnson & Johnson, and Progressive Insurance. So if we look at Taiwanese Semiconductor, they had better than expected sales from September. And so right off the bat, they've been kind of moving up because they're expected to beat earnings. They have an outperformed rating from a lot of analysts. I think this is a beat. I just got a funny feeling it goes up. It's just a lot of positive momentum. I mean, there's even some rumors about possibly them getting acquired by Apple. So I don't know. It's in a very, very dark. No major outlet is saying this, but a couple of my buddies are sending me some sites that are mentioning that this could be a possibility. Right now, it's all hearsay. Right now, there's been no real news about it. So I think they could possibly be earnings. Johnson & Johnson is a strange one to me, but due to the vaccine play, I think it beats. It's not. A lot of the analysts are not bullish or bearish on this, which is kind of weird. You usually need to take a stance, right? You need to go one side or the other. Everyone's kind of in the middle. No one really knows. So a lot of people are expecting a decline and for them to miss earnings. I got a funny. I just based on what I'm looking at, I think they might beat it. I think that people are starting to get back into a normal, purchasing behaviors and patterns and things like that. So I think there's a chance here. So. But I'm not super high on Johnson & Johnson. Progressive, I'm very high on. I feel they will beat earnings. They beat earnings 3 out of the last 4 times. They have an extremely robust insurance policy. They combine home and auto. They have a lot. They have a lot of good things going for them based on what I've seen from their business models. So I like Progressive. I like Taiwanese Semiconductor, and Johnson & Johnson I think surprises. So those are my earning plays. Honorable mention, let's go with Carvana first. So, if you look at Carvana, we're seeing a lot of wedge patterns lately. So, if you look at Carvana, we're getting kind of a decreasing volume right here. So, and Carvana is wedging. I think it goes up. I think the squeeze is on, and I think we see a pop soon. Earnings could be just what it needs. So, this date right here, what is it? October 29th. That could be really helpful for them to go up, or you could even play the run up to earnings. It is a little risky, this could always go, right down. So that's always the risk. Let's do Zoom next. Oops. So Zoom, right? It's also wedging. It also has a declining volume here. But the only issue I'm seeing is that Zoom has been, look at this. I mean, Zoom's been going crazy since COVID started. It's been, and it keeps going. I mean, at some point, it's got to be overvalued. The fundamentals don't match what the product offering is. So that's the question. Or does it just keep going? Do people just keep the love Zoom and just keep going? At some point, it has to go down. So this is why this was going to be a stock pick, but I feel like it's a bit risky. What if it finally has that, nice little dip? Like we thought it was happening here in the correction and come up for the B and then down for the C and then it goes, but it didn't even do that. It just kept firing off. So this was right around the area where we're thinking about a wave, second wave of COVID, and there's still a possibility of that. So who knows? Maybe this still does go. So, but at some point the valuation won't match and they're going to drop. So just be careful on Zoom. I think they're good for the near future. And who knows? Maybe we switch to more of a Zoom-centered business models at work, and we use Zoom a lot more. So who knows? Okay, up next, and then let's do Boeing. Boeing here has been kind of wedging, nice little wedge pattern here. I actually prefer this to be kind of here, but it's coming down, but it is peaking out right here. So it's kind of showing that, hey, I wanna go back, I wanna go up, but I need something to push me out. Doesn't have the declining volume like I'd like, which is why I'm a little concerned. Plus the 737 MAX certification is going to be big. Earnings, I think, are going to be a flop. I think Boeing has received a lot of bad news in the past couple weeks, so I don't expect a lot from Boeing on earnings. So yeah, it's really risky, but if it pops, I mean, you'll get a nice payday. So last one is Carnival Cruise. All right, we are in the long stretch. We have been waiting on Carnival Cruise for a long time. I mean, look at this, all the way since beginning of COVID. It's been wedging, and now we need something, and that something is probably stimulus. If we get the stimulus, it's going to go up. If we don't, it's going to go down. And if it goes down, we're talking bankruptcy. I'm calling that out right now. That if it does not recover soon, I'm talking about in the next 6 to 10 months, we're looking at bankruptcy. So this is an extremely risky stock. But if you load up and it hits, I mean, before COVID, we're over here at in the 50s. So that's a huge payday. So just something to be aware of. It's just you gotta be careful. I personally I didn't like cruise lines before COVID. I like them even less now. So I probably wouldn't do this, but I know a lot of people like Carnival Cruise. So those are my stock picks, my honorable mention, and my earning plays of the week. I want to thank you guys for talking to me a lot. I just hit 3,000 followers on Twitter. I really appreciate it, guys. I do all I can to help give you guys good advice. I share what I know from my MBA and from trading experience. If you guys have questions, you guys are feeling down, like something's not going right, talk to me. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. All right. Have a great week, and let's have a really great week ahead of us. Okay. All right. Take it easy, guys. Bye.